What if one day someone came to you and made you an offer you couldn't refuse? What if they said you would never feel fear again, never doubt yourself, never fail, no matter what you tried? Would you accept it? Or would you stop and wonder what part of you would disappear in return? And more importantly, would you still be you after that? In a quiet village surrounded by hills that turned golden at sunset, there lived a man named Amit. The village was small, the kind where everyone knew everyone, yet somehow, no one really knew Amit. It wasn't that people disliked him. Amit lived in a small house at the edge of the village. His life followed a simple, unchanging routine. He woke up early, worked in the fields, returned home tired, ate in silence, and slept. Day after day, year after year, nothing changed. He wasn't particularly skilled, nor was he completely incapable. He fell somewhere in between, good enough to survive, but never good enough to stand out. Amit had dreams, big ones. He used to sit under the banyan tree near the well and imagine a different life. A life where he was respected, where his voice mattered, where people looked at him with admiration instead of indifference. But dreams, like unused tools, gather dust over time. And Amit had stopped dreaming. Every evening after finishing his work, Amit would walk to the river just outside the village. It was the only place where he felt he could hear his own thoughts clearly. He would sit on the same flat stone, watching the water flow endlessly, as if it had somewhere important to be, some purpose that he himself lacked. One evening, Amit looked at his reflection in the river. "Is this all I am?" he asked quietly. The water rippled, distorting his face. There was no answer. There never was. Amit's life was not filled with dramatic suffering. There was no single tragedy he could point to and say, "This is where everything went wrong." Instead, it was something far more exhausting. Small disappointments, repeated failures, unnoticed efforts. He tried learning new skills but gave up when progress was slow. He worked harder than most but earned less than many. Over time, these small defeats began to shape how he saw himself. Not unlucky, not cursed, just unimportant. Years passed this way. The world around him seemed to move forward while he stayed in the same place. Everyone, it seemed, had a direction. Except him. One night, everything felt heavier than usual. Amit walked to the river, but this time his steps were slower, burdened by something deeper than physical exhaustion. He sat on his usual stone, but instead of staring at the water, he stared into the darkness. "I'm tired," he said aloud. The words felt strange, as if they had been waiting inside him for years. "I'm tired of trying and seeing nothing change." His voice cracked slightly. "I'm tired of feeling like I don't matter." For the first time in a long time, Amit didn't hold back his thoughts. "What's the point of all this?" he whispered. And then silence. But this silence felt different. He wasn't alone. "You feel invisible, don't you?" The voice came from behind him. Amit turned sharply. An old man stood a few steps away, his presence calm yet unsettling. His clothes were simple, but there was something about him that didn't belong to the ordinary world. "Who are you?" Amit asked. The old man smiled faintly. "Someone who listens when people finally speak honestly." The old man stepped closer and looked at the river. "You're not tired of life," he said softly. "You're tired of being yourself." The words hit Amit harder than he expected. Before he could respond, the old man continued. "What if I could change that?" Amit looked at him, confused. "Change what?" The old man turned to face him fully now. "What if I could take away everything that holds you back, your fear, your doubt, your hesitation?" Amit's heart beat faster. "And in return," the man added, "you would succeed in everything you do." "No failure," the man said, "no overthinking, no second-guessing yourself." Amit swallowed. "That's not possible." The old man smiled again. "Most things aren't until they are." Amit hesitated. "What would you take from me?" he asked. The man pointed to the ground beside Amit. "Your shadow." Amit looked down. His shadow stretched beside him, faint in the dim light. "My shadow," he repeated. "Yes," the man said calmly. "Everything you fear, everything that makes you hesitate, it lives there. I take it away and you are free." Amit didn't think for long. He had spent years feeling stuck, years questioning his worth. If there was even a chance to escape that. "Take it," he said. The old man nodded. Without any dramatic movement, without any visible change, he simply snapped his fingers. And just like that, Amit's shadow was gone. The next morning felt different. There was a strange lightness in his chest, a clarity he had never experienced before. For the first time in his life, his thoughts were quiet. No doubt, no fear. When Amit spoke that day, people listened. Not because they had suddenly changed, but because he had. His voice was steady, his words carried confidence. When he worked, he made decisions quickly, without hesitation. And somehow everything worked. Day by day, his life transformed. He earned more. He gained respect. He became visible. The same people who once ignored him now greeted him warmly. Some even admired him. But something else began to change. Slowly, Amit stopped going to the river. He stopped sitting in silence. Stopped asking questions. Because there was no need. Everything was going right. But with time, a strange emptiness began to grow inside him. He couldn't explain it. He wasn't sad, but he wasn't truly happy either. One afternoon, he saw a young boy trying to lift a heavy sack of grain. The boy struggled, failed, tried again, and fell. Frustration filled his face, but he didn't stop. He kept trying. Amit stood there watching. Something stirred inside him. A faint, unfamiliar feeling. That night, Amit couldn't sleep. For the first time in a long while, his mind felt restless. Not with fear, but with emptiness. He walked back to the river. The same stone, the same flowing water. But something was different. He felt like a stranger in his own life. "Take it back," he said into the darkness. "I don't want this anymore." The old man appeared again. "You have everything you wanted," he said. "Why give it up?" Amit's voice was low but firm. "Because it doesn't feel real." He looked down at the ground. "There's no struggle, no meaning. I don't feel proud of anything I achieve." He paused. "I don't feel like myself." The old man nodded slowly. "Most people want success without pain," he said. "But they don't realize pain is what gives success its value." He stepped closer. "Are you ready to feel everything again?" Amit didn't hesitate this time. "Yes." The man snapped his fingers. And in that moment, Amit's shadow returned. It felt heavy. His thoughts came rushing back. Doubts, fears, questions. But along with them came something else. Depth, awareness, life. The next morning, Amit failed at something again. A simple mistake. Something that would have never happened before. But this time, he didn't feel broken. He smiled, because now he understood. What if the thing you're trying to escape is actually the thing shaping you? A life without struggle may look perfect, but it feels empty. So don't run away from your shadow. Walk with it, learn from it, grow with it. Because that shadow is what makes you human.